Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Will. Will is from Washington State in the USA. So let's see what Will has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Will, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time so early morning for the interview. Thank you. So tell me, how's your day going so far? It's your morning.
I literally just woke up.
Do you consider yourself to be more of a day or night person?
Night person.
Always been?
Yeah.
Wow.
Always been a night person.
So tell me, what was the highlight of your evening last night?
Mm, what was the highlight of my evening? Um, there wasn't any new shows. I was live for a
Uh-huh.
little bit went live for a little bit last night, but yeah, no, there really wasn't a highlight last night.
I see. So tell me where you're from, Will.
From Eastern Washington, U.S.
Born and raised?
Yes.
So tell me something interesting about your city.
I live across the river from a nuclear reservation.
Okay. Sorry. So tell me, what do you do for work, for living?
I'm a paramedic on an ambulance.
Hmm. So tell me a little bit about your job, how the opportunity came along.
I've worked for my company for like 20 years. So
Uh-huh.
previously, I worked for an automotive shop. I sold car repair,
Mm-hmm.
and I got tired of it. I had enough, and I ended up getting into a car accident at the car shop, and I was done. I was like, I'm so tired of this. So I called the boss lady at the company, and I was like, "Hey, it's Will," and she's like, "Hey," and I go, "You got a job for me?" And she's like, "As a matter of fact, what are you doing on Thursday?" I go, "It sounds like I'm coming to see you." And so I walked in, said hi, answered a couple questions, got a uniform, and I started work the 2 weeks later.
Wow, that's how it started. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
that's how it started.
being a paramedic, you provide the work for different hospitals. How does it work?
Um, well, we transport patients between hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
We go to their location, whether it's home or wherever, and assess them and get them taken care of, and do if there's if there's care that can be provided before we get to the hospital, then we can provide that care up to what our protocol or our doctor allows us to do.
All right. Okay. And you mentioned when you were discussing the time of the interview, you mentioned that you work a few hours and have to have other few hours off as well. How, that's the schedule.
Uh, oh, my schedule? I
Yeah.
work 48 hours. I'm on shift for 48 hours, and I come home for 96 hours.
And it's always like that. It's always
Yeah,
this.
it rotates. So 2 days on, 4 days off.
That's amazing. And do you like this routine?
Yeah, yeah.
I used to work for a hotel a few years ago when I was doing night shift and I was working 4 nights on, 4 nights off, 4 nights on, 4 nights off. And it was amazing because I had this short break was like a little vacation. So I was traveling around Europe. It was amazing.
I can do one shift trade and be off for 9 days. Or I can do two shift trades and be off for like almost like a complete week and 2 weeks.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Will. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far, okay?
Mhm.
But before we start our journey within the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
I enjoy music so much, but I cannot read music or play music.
Hmm. And which kind of music do you like the most?
Ooh, metal.
Wow. Funny enough, I had a lovely man, a singer from a band from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona,
Mhm.
uh, 2 weeks ago, and he was talking about his journey as a band, as metal music. So it was amazing to hear for sure.
Nice. Yeah, we've been to a ton of concerts, a ton of festivals. Um, love the music.
Amazing. Will, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Mhm.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best full of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay,
All right.
let's do it. Okay, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, don't want to talk about, always can change. Okay. First question is, how describe a perfect friendship?
The perfect friendship.
Yeah.
Um, Honesty, loyalty, and always answers the phone when you need them.
How about your best friends? They live in the same city as you or in different part of the state?
Different parts.
Yeah. And who is your
Different parts.
best friend right now?
Mm, Probably one has been my friend for like 20, 20 plus years,
Wow.
and he actually married my wife's best friend.
And that's how you met your wife as well or not?
No, 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 no. That's a whole different story.
And how did your path cross you and your best friend?
At the fire station,
Wow.
he um he joined the fire station probably 24 years ago, 23 years ago, something like that.
Mhm. And
And
yeah,
we've been friends ever since.
what's the biggest similarity between both of you and the biggest difference?
The biggest similarity, um, the do anything for anybody,
Hmm.
and the biggest difference, um, I don't think there is a difference. We're very similar.
Okay. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what bores you?
What bores me?
Yeah.
Um, what bores me? Not doing anything. Um, a really slow day at work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going over information that I already know. Like sitting through a class where I already know all of that stuff. Like that bores me. Mm, but yeah, that's about it.
And you're a kind of person that you are always on the go, or you like some time off as well, like to kind of recharge your batteries?
I do like go 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 is the best.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also a time where you just need to just sit and just chill.
Yeah. Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. So before the next question, tell me what's the biggest joy of being a paramedic and what's the most challenging part?
The biggest joy is seeing your training and seeing your skill do good.
Mm-hmm.
Like seeing like the science and seeing like all of the things come together and do well. And also seeing like my partners are all they're all EMTs. So they've been to school for a couple months. They're young, they're learning how to be good practitioners. They're learning how to take care of people, and seeing them grow and seeing like the light bulb go off, like, oh, this is cool. Seeing it all click,
Yeah.
and then them go on to become paramedics, or them go on to become PAs. Like seeing them move on and grow, that is awesome. That's the part of it I really enjoy.
And the challenge part.
The challenge is not bringing it home with you. When you go through the stuff that you go through, and it takes a toll on your body, it takes a toll on your mind. It's not all easy. Um,
Hmm.
but then coming home and not letting that affect like your interactions with your family, your kids, your wife, like that shit's hard.
Wow. And sometimes when some of your shifts can be very, like, let's see, very busy with a lot of things happening, and sometimes can be quiet, or most of the time it's always something happening based on your experience.
There's always something happening. I mean, I'm one of the supervisors there, so I'm always doing something.
Hmm. I see. And
And
most of
there's times where we have downtime. Like we have some downtime. It's few and far between anymore, but we get downtime.
and based on your experience, there's some parts of the year, because of some celebrations, that it can be busy or not. There's all like a frame for it,
That part of it doesn't really affect us anymore.
right?
It doesn't affect us. I mean, the where I work, they make poor choices on a regular basis, not just on holidays. And
Hmm.
so they they're always needing help.
I see. Okay. Next question is, what makes you very sentimental? Do you cry easily?
Do I? No.
No?
No. I mean, it's a little easier now after having a daughter. It's a little easier. But no, I typically don't cry.
Hmm.
I think I've cried in front of her one time, and I was thinking about my uncle that had passed away.
Right.
Um, so yeah, no, I don't. No, emotion, like no. Sentimental. Occasionally, like thinking back and like coming across stuff around the house from like that brings back a memory or brings back fun times, or driving by a location. Um, when we're on road trips, or if I'm on a trip at work and we go by a spot that like picks up a memory, because I've been here for my whole life, and I've done a couple things and seen a couple things, and it'll come up with a memory of fun times, or a time where like that wasn't so fun.
And do you have a big family with a few siblings or not?
I have one brother. My parents are still alive. I have one brother, and then my two kids, my wife, her sister, and her mom and brother-in-law,
Hmm.
and then my brother and his two children, and then his wife. So that's my family.
Wow, amazing. And they live as well in the same, your brother lives in the same city as you.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
see. Okay. Next question, ready?
Hmm.
Let's do it. Next one. Okay, before the next question, we've got connected through TikTok, yeah? So tell
Hmm.
me, what's the idea behind your page? I saw some videos, I saw some pictures with you and your kids and your wife. So what's something about
Oh,
like to
well,
spread?
there's two parts to TikTok, right?
Hmm.
There's the content that I have posted, which is a little bit of everything. It's kind of a grab bag. It's memories. Us living life, us out doing stuff, um, stuff for a laugh, like stuff for a laugh. And there's other things that are for like community awareness, for like don't be like me and don't do this stupid thing. But then there's like the streaming side, and the streaming side with the family, we've created. I don't know. You were part of. You came into my live stream, right? You were part of it. So we're pretty close. I mean, my family, the family there, they're pretty close. Like we've been with each other for, oh shit, almost a year and a half now.
Uh-huh.
And we do trivia, we do random questions, we listen to music, we hang out with other friends that we've met through TikTok, but through like battles and co-hosting.
Okay.
But we also are huge advocates for mental health. We check on each other, we make sure that everyone's doing well. And if someone comes in and has a bad day, like we help get them through that. But the other really, really cool thing about our family is we have people from all walks of life. We have people from all demographics. We have people of differently abled people that come in and they use adaptive technology to hang out with us because TikTok, like, they don't have an outlet. They can't get out of their house. They have whether it's autism or they're on the spectrum or whatever they have going on, they can come hang out and have a moment of normalcy using text to speech, using different adaptive technology to get their thoughts to the phone.
Yeah.
And we just hang out and we have a great time. Like that's what we do.
Amazing. Great. Next question is, what's the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Ooh, William. The most difficult thing I've ever done. Um, so when people get older and they get sick
Mm-hmm.
and they have a bad day and we go to take care of them. Um, there's possibilities that they have what's called a pulsed form. It's a green form here in Washington State, and it's a pulsed form. And what that form does is it identifies their wishes when they're incapacitated and they can't make the choice on their own, right? So if their heart stops, if they stop breathing, if they're really 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 sick, they can't tell me what they want me to do. This form says do CPR or don't do CPR. And it says selective measures, like they can select what treatments they want, or it's absolutely no treatments, or it's all treatments. And and I got invited to someone's house for them in cardiac arrest. The pulsed form said they wanted nothing done. We get there and the family is like, save my mom, save my mom, save my mom. And I'm like, but the form says this, and so we're pushing on the chest. We're because the family has the opportunity, they can override it. Um, and the fire department and my partner, they're doing that, and I'm talking to the family. I'm like, hey, like right now, this isn't what your mom wanted. Your mom did not want this. Your mom wanted to go in peace. Right now, we are causing significant damage. We're causing pain. I really hope that you understand that and that we respect mom's wishes. And I can stop all of this right now. And they wanted me to keep going. And so it's like trying to convey the inevitable. Like
Mm-hmm.
mom's been down for like 15 minutes right now. The opportunity for a meaningful life after this is slim. Like like let's let her go in peace. I'm finally able to convey that, and they're like, okay, let's stop. Um, but that stuff like that's the hard shit where it's like your mom did this for a reason. She made it easy on you. She gave you her wishes. You don't have to
Yeah.
make any of these choices. You don't have to. Like let's respect mom's wishes.
Yeah.
But some people, adult sibling or adult kids, they 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 don't they have a hard time accepting that. So
I see. I see. Thanks for sharing, Will. I think, yeah, the situation can be challenge, I'm sure, for you guys to go through that, because it's based in papers, in wishes, and and you just follow what was wished, let's put this way.
Mhm.
And yeah, it must be a very difficult situation for you to be in, for sure. My God, I think it's thanks for sharing.
Mhm.
3 questions left. Let's do it. Next question is, would you ever get a tattoo, and what that would be?
Would I ever get a tattoo? Yeah, I have one. And I have one. I have an appointment scheduled while we're on vacation. I'm gonna get another one. So,
What? So what's the meaning of your tattoo you have right now?
it is a silly fire tattoo from when I was very young. I just turned 21 and
Wow.
got this silly tattoo. And so it's related to the fire department.
When you think about you, Will, when you analyze yourself, what's the biggest joy of being you? What do you like the most about being Will?
Getting to meet new people, getting to see new people, getting to be a part of their life, and it's not always happy times,
Of course.
but getting an opportunity to meet new people.
And you always been this way?
Mhm.
What's your star sign astrology?
My what?
Star sign or astrology or zodiac sign?
My zodiac sign?
Yeah.
Cancer.
Yes, sir. Okay. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next one, as you mentioned about being a dad, a father. So tell me, what's the biggest joy of being a dad?
Watching them learn and grow.
Wow.
Watching learn new skills, learn new things, meet new people, and grow as a person, grow as a human.
And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your kids?
What's the most meaningful lesson?
You've learned from them?
Ooh, patience.
All the parents, they say that.
Patience.
And your wife, what's the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
Mm. The most meaningful lesson I've learned from my wife. Words have consequences.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so your wife is watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say?
Mm. I am beyond blessed to have met you and to be able to share the adventures and the journeys that we've shared together.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Okay, next question is, when have you been the most happy?
Uh, the most happy. There's two. There's
Mhm.
two. Um, so when with both our kiddos, wife was very, very, very sick through both of them. Um, my son was born at 23 and a half weeks. So he was just a little over halfway cooked. And he spent like 6 months in the NICU, getting better. And he almost caused my wife not to make it. She she was eclamptic and her blood pressure was deathly high, but miraculously both were okay.
Oh,
She got pregnant with kiddo number two, and we had to go um, 3 hours, 3.5 hours every week to the university hospital um, for while she was pregnant to ensure that she was well.
mhm.
So, and she was very, very, very sick. And so the happiest days was when my youngest was born and both were healthy. We both came out of that healthy.
Wow, amazing.
Um, that was because it was nerve wracking. Like that was
Can
it was
imagine.
I was scared shitless that I was gonna lose her, um, and have the kiddos to raise by myself. Like it was scary.
Wow.
But the second happiest day was when I got confirmation from the National Registry that I passed my paramedic program.
Oh my God, that's a big day.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to take that test twice. Like I've taught EMS for 15 years. I've taught the EMT program, and I've been teaching all facets of EMS and fire for pretty much my whole career,
Hmm.
right? And then my boss, I've been an EMT for like 17 years and supervisor for 10 of those years. And my boss came up to me and he's like, "Hey, so you've been an EMT for a really long time with this company. You've been a supervisor for a really long time with this company. And moving forward, we aren't going to have EMT supervisors. It'll be paramedics. Paramedic school starts in 2 weeks. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Oh." Um, he goes, "But I'll pay you for the entire time that you go to school.
That's
You won't miss
amazing.
a paycheck. It's not going to cost you anything. I will pay for school. I'll pay for travel. I'll pay for everything.
Wow.
School starts in 2 weeks." And I'm like, "But boss, like, what about like family and everything?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, we can work, like school will work around that." And I'm like, "Well, I guess we're going to paramedic school."
I
And
have no
so,
choice. No
yeah,
choice.
so paramedics, student, dad, um, supervisor working on the car. So I worked 48, 72-hour shifts for the whole time during school. And to finally finish all of that and get confirmation like you're good was absolutely amazing.
Wow. Did you think you could go through when you started going through the challenge? Did you think you could pass in the end? Were you
Oh,
confident?
failure wasn't an option. Like if I didn't make it through school, I wasn't going back to work.
Wow.
There was too many people watching, like all of my coworkers, all of my students, my kiddos, like everybody watching old man go back to school and go through hell, um, to get through this. And because the program that they put us through, normally this program is 10 months didactic. So 10 months classroom, and then you go to the hospital and you learn at the hospital, and then you go out onto an ambulance and you learn on the ambulance to finish
Mhm.
out this program. The boss that put this together is like, the people I'm giving you, because it was my company was this entire class throughout the Northwest, 15 students. And he goes, "I'm giving you the best of the best. They need to be done in 6 months." And they're like, "We're not changing the program." He goes, "No, you don't have to change the program." He goes, "You don't have to change the program. Take days out of the calendar. They're done in 6 months." So they took this 10-month program and took 4 months out of it. And
Right.
we did this accelerated program.
Wow.
Yeah. it it was
Oh,
wild. It was a wild ride.
I can imagine. Oh my God. I can, when you finish, like when you got it, the results, I think you felt more relieved than happy.
Oh yeah. It was just like, huh, it is over.
Amazing. I love it. I love this story. Sometimes I think that's life talking to us. I think sometimes through your boss or through people around you, sometimes, life showing some direction, but sometimes just hit you. You know what? There's no plan B anymore, just plan A. And I love that.
Mhm.
Sometimes that's how it works. Last question. Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Last question. You like dancing?
I don't dance very well. I enjoy music. I enjoy going out. We can sway well, do an amazing two-step, but don't dance very well.
Right. So before the last question, tell me a moment in your career as a paramedic that you're never gonna forget. That for one reason or another, always gonna have a special place in your heart. And I'm sure you've been through a lot, but there's the moment, could be positive or negative or something that you could share, of course, but something that when you think about your career, you go like, okay, that's meant to happen for me for any reason?
The first one, we get dispatched out for a possible self-harm, possible suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to stage before we get there for law enforcement to make sure that the scene's secure. And we get up closer, and this gal is walking up to the ambulance, and I recognized the gal. It was one of our doctors from the emergency room. And I look at her and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Well, my friend is the patient." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then we got cleared in, and so we get going into the hospital, to the scene, and the patient who had attempted to hang themselves with a tourniquet was one of our ER nurses that we'd ran with for a while, known her for a while, and she had had enough, and she thought that was going to be her last day, and she aborted mission after the fact. She made it out okay, but we get her in the back, and she's super emotional. And then we need to take her to the hospital, and the hospital we have to take her to is where she works, and now she's got to face all of her coworkers. So I won't ever I won't ever forget that one.
Wow.
The next one was a good lesson. It was a good lesson. We get sent to the jail for an assault. It was a stabbing, and we get sent to the jail, and we get there, and the corrections officers have brought this guy down off the pod, brought him down to us, and he's cut up pretty good. He's cut up pretty good, and he's a very muscular, he's a big dude. I mean, he's he's a gang affiliation with his tattoos, very muscular, and big guy. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'1", but about 250, and he could cast a shadow over me. This is a big guy, and I'm like, okay, like let me help you. Like, come on, let me help you. And he gets on the bed, and the corrections officers are like, we're not going anywhere until he gets shackles. And I'm like, no, I need to take care of him. Like, he's going in shackles. And I'm like, you do whatever, but I need to take care of him. And so I'm starting to take care of him, and I get hip checked out of the way so they can put handcuffs on him and leg irons on him for transport, because of his offenses and his classification there at the jail, he's extremely high risk. And so I'm like, whatever, I'm getting my stuff ready. We're going to the ambulance. Those are coming off. And they're like, but they can't come off. And I'm like, no, I'm taking care of this guy. Those are coming off. He's not gonna touch me. He's not gonna hurt me. And they're like, it's not just for you, it's for everyone. I'm like, he has 5 holes in him. Like, he's not going very far.
Ouch.
And so we get back to the ambulance, and I lean into the guy. I'm like, hey, don't do anything stupid. I mean, I'm trying to do my best to take care of you. Don't do anything stupid. And he's like, brother man, I'm good. Just help me. I'm like, we're gonna do everything possible that we can. But the lesson out of all of that was, like, regardless of who our patients are, regardless of their walk of life, like, we're going to take care of them. We're going to do anything possible to get them taken care of, because I don't care who they are. I don't care what you did. Like, we're taking care of you.
Yeah. Wow.
And so we get to the hospital, and we get him taken care of and get him patched up and get him stabilized for surgery. We get to the hospital, and he like sat up. I shook his hand and sat up, and he like tried to give me a hug, and I'm like, you're covered in blood. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry.
That's so sweet. I love this story. Wow. Amazing. Okay. Last question is, how would you like to be remembered in life?
Mm. We talk about this like in my when I'm streaming. While I'm streaming, like this is like the random questions, the random things. We've answered this a handful of times. Um, be remembered as um, kind and very kind and intelligent.
Okay. Amazing. Right, so then let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
One word for money.
Greed.
Family.
Memories.
Fear.
Unknown.
Life.
Prosperous.
One word for love.
Love.
Yeah.
Heart.
Religion.
He's up there.
Okay. Sex.
Fun.
Politics.
Not fun.
Okay. Friendship.
A lifetime.
Desire.
Hard one.
Your coffee that you're drinking, I doubt that. That's desire. By your face, after your sip, you're like,
It's really good coffee. Desire. Passion.
Regret.
Poor choices.
Okay. Success.
Success. Accomplishment.
Wish.
Granted.
Happiness.
Joyful.
One word for Washington State.
Bipolar.
USA, one word.
Confused.
I like that. And the last one now, paramedic, one word.
Underrated.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her wife, define will in one positive and one negative word only. What should say?
One positive and one negative about me?
Yeah, what should say?
Probably on positive would help anybody. And the negative is don't share or don't communicate well.
Do you see some work in progress regarding that?
Trying to.
Amazing. Let's play now, Will, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Will.
What started this magic box?
Wow. 2020, what happened in 2020? Something very strange around the world, called COVID, yeah, remember? So during this time, before that, I was already thinking about doing something on YouTube, but I didn't know what I could do. I just want to do something that I could express myself, I could connect with people, but I didn't know what I could do because, as you know, there's so many creative people around the globe, like, with some beautiful content. And I was like, my God, what can I do to express myself? But I didn't know what I could. I love music as well, by the way. Like you, I love music. Music is part of my life. And I want to do something with music. But of course, as you know, we're not allowed to use people's music online because, you get cut. You can't. So that's what the first idea I had. But I was like, okay, let me think about something else. So during the COVID here in England, you could, during the lockdown, you could leave the house once a day for exercise, like in the park, for a run, you could do that. And I was doing that every afternoon during the COVID, the lockdown. And one of those runs, this idea came along. I remember the moment, I remember the place in the park where I was, because I was running and I stopped for a moment. I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to research some questions, I'm going to create some questions, and I'm going to ask random people around the globe to share their point of views, to express themselves through questions. And that's exactly how it started, the show, you know, through a run in the park. And that's how I wanted to do. Saying that though, I'm originally from Brazil, and back in Brazil as a teenager, I remember like, you know, interacting with my friends at school. I was like, who's your favorite teacher? Tell me your favorite color. So I was like doing that already, of course.
Mhm.
So it was something already here that I need to explore. And I think the COVID brought me that, because as a lot of people, as you know very well, work in healthcare, you know how bad it was, and a lot of people with mental health as well, you know.
Mhm.
And I found myself in a very dark place at the time, because I was anxious. I didn't know what was happening, didn't know what could come along, you know, in the future. And but the Magic Box came for me in the right time, because that, you know, really changed the way I was feeling at the time. And that's how I started organize the interviews and everything. So that's how I started the show. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
amazing. Did you enjoy the interview, Will?
Yeah, it was fun.
Amazing.
William, do you want to meet? Do you want to meet Sheldo? This is the missus.
Hello,
Hey,
Shalom. How are you?
how are you? Good to meet you.
You too. You know what? I heard
What?
very good things about you during the interview. You need to watch, okay, to see it, okay?
I will. He better. Bye, babe. Have a good day. Good to
Amazing.
meet you.
Before you go, Will, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Share a message or anything that we live by. Be kind.
Mhm.
Be kind. Kindness is free. Like, you don't have to be an asshole. Be kind.
Amazing, beautiful, amazing. So regards to your family, to your wife and your kids as well, it was a pleasure to have you on the show, okay? Thanks so much.
All right. Have a good
Thank
one.
Bye-bye. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.